How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It's Nasipi Zwane, and I'm back with another episode of Sledge Underground Podcast. And today I have another exciting guest for you in Katia. And I'm super excited for this one. When Jen came through and she's like, Katya would be keen on coming on the show. I was super excited because I'd seen, one of her music videos on YouTube, and it's some of the best work that I've seen visually. So I am going to be trying to, get something, at least some of the knowledge that Katya has also, sort of gotten in her journey, just to sort of make sure that if you are a musician or if you are anyone who's looking to obtain such skills and all of that there, you're in the best position to do so. So Katya, right off the bat, obviously you do mention in your socials that you are a show jumper and you are an occasional entertainer and singer as well. Put me in your shoes, tell me about just what life is like as someone who is an occasional entertainer.
It's busy because I'm also an actuary, and I've also got a little 3.5-year-old. So it's pretty busy, but I'm very much one of those people that live your life to the absolute full. And yeah, so sometimes it's a bit of a juggle, but just enjoy every day. And yeah.
You mentioned that you're an actuary there. I had to do a bit of research because I don't know what that was. But yeah, the research that I did, and I don't know if it's accurate, but it mentions, a lot of numbers. It mentions a lot of like data, looking at data and looking at any maybe financial risks that companies might be in. I don't know if that's bang on.
No, it is. I mean, like, look, these days actuaries are in very like non-traditional spaces, but traditionally, they're the people that price the insurance and look after the investments. And yeah, so very different from my singing world and very different from my writing world. But yeah, that's me.
How do you sort of find a balance and actually make time for the music? Because, it seems like there's quite a bit going on. Obviously, the show jumping, you being an actuary, and, that occasional part, how do you make sure that you still maintain, your singing career?
Gosh, I'd like to think, I'm driven by passion, and you just kind of find the time, and you put in the effort and you get it done. On the riding side, I haven't been jumping competitively for a while. Obviously, I unfortunately lost my competitive horse in 2022, and it takes time to find a new partner and build up the partnership to the point where you're actually competing. So hopefully going to get there this year, and then we'll have to reestablish the balance. But we'll get there.
100%. And obviously with Sludge Underground being a music, sort of based podcast as well, when it comes to the music, how did you sort of get into that? What inspired you to become a singer and to sort of get that going?
I've been singing since I could probably speak. So that's just been part of my life since I was very small. So I can't even remember, but I'm Portuguese. I don't know if you saw that anywhere, but in our community, they are very supportive of local artists. And throughout my growing up, I was always given a platform to sing, whether it be at someone's wedding or one of the Portuguese club's lunches, or we've got very cool big festivals that we host like all over the place all the time, and there'll be a lot of big names singing there, but also the organizers always like phone me up or phone up my colleagues and be like, here's an hour slot for you. So that's where I got the exposure, and I'm so grateful for that, because that's the way you become an entertainer, is by being given opportunities to actually perform for people.
What's the reason for this being an occasional thing and not a full-time thing?
Oh gosh, I've got a few friends that are pros in the industry, and I see how hard they work, and it's a tough industry. And when I left school, my parents were not really like, go and become a singer. It's like I had to study something, I had to get a degree. So, I kind of just got into the grind that way. But I am just so privileged that I can do both, and I can, that I get to perform. Yeah, at the moment I'm also recovering from a little vocal surgery that I had in December. So that's why I sound a bit sexier than normal. I've been like this for a month, but hopefully this is going to be a big year for me. I've got lots of projects that I'm excited to do, and I really want to get stuck in, but I've obviously got to look after the pipes first and get them all healed.
When you mentioned that you got a lot of industry friends and you just see how hard, their work. What are some of the things that you've seen that have maybe put you off, when it comes to making music a full-time thing for you? What do you see that makes you feel, I cannot go into that full-time?
Just like they're so good, my friends. They are so, so amazing and so, so talented, and they've got work ethic of next to none, but they just don't get the exposure necessarily that I think they deserve. And I think that's the hard part.
You mentioned the exposure, the exposure that they deserve. What do you feel is enough exposure? What do you feel as a South African creative is the sort of exposure that would be adequate for the amount of work that some of these artists are putting in?
Gosh, I think in short, I mean, if you're managing to pay your bills and live your life and being able to gig every weekend, I think that you've pretty much hit the jackpot there with your career.
100%. Yeah, and obviously in the beginning I mentioned the music video that you did. It was for a cover. I don't want to butcher the name of the song because my
Oh,
Afrikaans is,
forever.
yes.
Oh,
Thank
yes,
you.
that's yeah,
Yeah,
that was a
thanks for
new
that.
one.
Yeah, thanks for that. And yeah, for that music video is absolutely, it's amazing. The way that it looks,
Thank you.
it got me sort of wondering, there's a lot of artists that you'll find get to a stage where they're now wanting to shoot a music video, and some of the things that, aren't really said or not really spoken about, is how maybe one might prepare for a music video. I mean, you didn't just wake up that day of the shoot, like straight from bed, go to shoot,
No.
and it's done. You must have done some sort of preparation to go there, and maybe even prior. So let me in on, the creative process behind the music video and the things that had to happen in order for that music video to be released in the state that it's in.
So the first thing that I want to say about Verewig is that I did the video for a competition. So Verewig is actually by an Afrikaans singer called William Wolf, and he hosted this competition where people could submit covers. So I saw this as this huge opportunity to, have a go in the Afrikaans market because I don't actually sing in Afrikaans. Lots of people told me I did it really well, so I'm like, yes. But yeah, so Forever is actually, if you watch the actual original music video, it's a love story between a guy and a girl.
Okay.
And I saw this and I'm like, hey, this song could very well be about a mom and a daughter and that sort of connection. So I wanted to turn the whole concept, into like from a different perspective, which also kind of goes to show how musically people interpret songs differently,
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of music, right?
Mm.
So I'd worked with the guys that I filmed with before. They did my first music video,
Yeah.
and yeah, the process kind of just flowed because I knew I wanted the a music video to be about me and my daughter. I knew I wanted to involve my horse in it, and everything flowed. But just in terms of, I don't know, like there's like little subtle things, like there'll be shots of the horse, and then there's like a pen that my daughter plays with that's a unicorn, so kind of trying to say dreams and reality. And yeah, and my daughter's a huge fan of having little picnic parties. And then I think you saw that in the video where I'm
Yeah.
actually having a little picnic with her. And
Mm.
it was also a beautiful memory for me and her. And boy, can I tell you that there's a lot of diva star quality in my kid. She
Oh gosh.
was like top notch, enjoying this being filmed, right? The
Mm.
camera, she couldn't get enough of having the camera in her face. But that also being said, boy, is it hard to film with a horse
Wow.
and a 3.5-year-old.
No
It
ways.
was like some of the shots that we had to get, like I'm holding the horse, and you saw I was wearing a dress.
Yes,
It was
exactly.
a whole thing. But advice to people wanting to, make music and make videos and make that kind of visual art is be as authentic to your vision as you possibly can.
Mm.
You know, of course, like I wanted to do well in the competition. I was really hoping that maybe, I could win it if I gave it a good go.
Yeah.
But the most important thing for me was to display my interpretation of the song and to bring my vision to life. I didn't win the competition, unfortunately, but I did get a top 10 mention. So I'm like, okay, we'll take that. And I've got a very beautiful video that I'm very proud of.
If you were to get into this music thing on a more consistent sort of basis, is that the sort of market that you'd go for, the Afrikaans market?
So that's a tough question. I mean, I like to entertain. So if there's an Afrikaans crowd out there that wants to sing along and have a good hour set with me, I'd go for it. I mean, I'm definitely keen. I'm very, very much about exploring musically and trying different things. I mean, one of the songs that I sing regularly is Brenda Fassie's Bulindlela. And I learned that like phonetically from scratch by myself. Like it's such a big song. And what I love about that song is, you go to these events and that you connect with people like on another level.
So you must have been doing this for a very long time then. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. I mean, being able to connect with people in that sort of way. In terms of entertainment, is it just the singing or is there, other things as well that you're doing with that?
It's definitely the same. But for me, it's like, I go to an event, they give me my slot, and I'm just there to make people have a good time. Get out of your head, enjoy the space, enjoy the music, connect, and have fun. That's the type of entertainer that I am.
Nice. And obviously, I'm wishing you many more of those in 2024. It
Thank
would
you.
really be exciting to also see you maybe come down here in Durban as well, sometime in future. Would be
That would be
happy to see
nice.
you. What are some of those plans that you were telling me about? Obviously, it did sound sort of like the music will be picking up a lot more. So, what do you have planned
Yeah.
for the year?
So I'm hoping to perform at a few more festivals this year. I've got an idea for a new music video. Well, actually, it'll be another cover, and also hoping to do some more original stuff. I think I need another song out this year. So yeah, that's the plan. I've got to get better. This thing, yeah, I've just got to get better first so I can get the show on the road. But I had a bit of a break from singing when I had my daughter. Between having my daughter was born 1 week into COVID.
Oh
So you can
my.
imagine it's just like it's COVID and I
Yeah.
became a new mom and I just took a break. And then
Yeah.
last year I got back on a stage and it was like no time had passed and it was the best thing ever. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not missing out anymore.
And one of the ways I think we can tell that you're actually serious about this is the fact that you've got the services of a publicist as well. Because as I mentioned right at the beginning of this interview, is that obviously Genevieve of Indie Does It organizes. Shout out to Genevieve. And what to you sort of informed this decision of working with a publicist? Because it's something that I often talk about and I try to preach to artists that it's quite pivotal. It does enhance, the journey. So for you, what sort of knowledge did you have in your mind that sort of drove you towards a decision to get yourself a publicist?
So first and foremost, I sing Genevieve's praises every day of the week. She is amazing at what she does. I met Genevieve through a project that I did in 2022. So I'm not sure if you came across my other video. I had a horse for, gosh, she was in my life for a long, long, long time. And she was like, like I said, they become like your partner and pet child. And she passed away in a very terrible accident that I unfortunately witnessed. And in dealing with the grief, I wrote a song for her and also, about loss in general, once again to connect with people. And when the song was done and the video was done, it wasn't enough for me. And I partnered up with a welfare organization that helps horses in distress and also families that are reliant on donkeys or horses, for their daily living. Because like you and I, you wouldn't think that there's someone out there that needs his horse to go and fetch him water. What this organization does is they literally help the people care for the horses so that they can, do their lives and earn their money. So when I partnered with the Highveld Horse Care Unit, I then reached out to Genevieve and I said, we've got to get the song out there. And with the song, I want to take these people with me. I want to get them exposure. I want to try and help them get the most funding possible that they can. And I mean, all of this was, in memory of my horse.
So what do you feel like are some of the benefits of working through a publicist?
She put me in touch with people that I would have never been able to, get a hold of. We've done so many radio interviews. I've done podcasts. We were on TV on De Groot Ontbyt. We were also on Morning Live, which was a fantastic opportunity. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without her. So I definitely recommend, if you're serious about the project that you're working on or just your music in general, having a publicist will definitely help you push you along.
100%. What I want to get from you now is any South African artists that you might want to work with in future. If you had to create a show and you were the headline, pick three artists that you would play alongside. They have to be South African though.
I would make a show with my friend, with the Lee Cole. I don't know if you know Mr. Lee Cole,
Okay.
and Mr. Miguel Pereiro, who's also got a lot of good tunes out on radio.
Mm.
I'd work with them, and I mean we have worked together in the past. Yeah, I think, and in the Afrikaans market, there are also quite a few singers that I quite admire. I love Demi Limois.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to sing a song with her. Yeah.
No.
And I've also done, I don't know if you remember a band called Ballyhoo. They
Sounds
sang the
familiar.
song Man on the Moon.
Okay, yeah.
I would love to do a show with them. And I've been like toying with the idea. I must actually just call them up and say, can we do a few songs or something? Because they're iconic. They are like legends in the industry, and they've recently got back together and they're out there doing their thing again.
Yeah.
And it's just something else to watch people with that amount of experience still rocking it and entertaining.
I need you to tell me about the entertainment industry in Joburg. Obviously, we all know it as sort of like the Hollywood of South Africa. It might be things that you hear from the outside looking in at how maybe amazing it might look. Is this the case? Would you say, as someone who's experienced the Johannesburg sort of entertainment scene, it's as amazing as it looks to us who are maybe in Durban or maybe in Cape Town?
I just think there's a lot of opportunity up here to perform,
Yeah.
and there are also a lot of, recording studios and, people in the know that can help you along in your career. So, I mean, you can make your music anywhere, really, if you've got a good enough laptop and a keyboard. But I think it definitely does help if you need exposure and you actually want to gig, to be in a place that offers you a lot of opportunities. And I do think, I mean, my experience of Durban is quite limited in that way, unfortunately. So I can't make a direct comparison. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunity to sing up here.
That is very beautiful. Katja, thank you so much for spending a bit of time
Thank
with
you
me.
so much.
I loved absolutely learning about how the music video, was made and, the horse and what you had to go through with your daughter as well. Absolutely brilliant getting some of that insights and just the general sort of entertainment space and what your plans are for the rest of the year. I know that your vocals are resting at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you maybe have a date at all in mind, maybe in terms of when you'll recover and maybe when we can expect a new song? Because I'm pretty sure there are some Katia fans out there that followed you from your competition days and so on and so forth who are just waiting in anticipation. Are there any dates, maybe even ballpark?
Ballpark, I would say April, early May. Hopefully, at least then I'll be gigging again. But the big project that I have in mind, I don't want to mention too much about. I'm quite excited about it. But that probably sort of middle to the end of the year.
Oh my, I'm so excited. By the way, I don't know if I can ask, voice, what happened?
So basically, I think it was just from overuse last year. On the one vocal fold, I'd had a few little bumps, not necessarily nodules, but like little bumps. So the doctor just basically went in and he smoothed out the bumps. Yeah, it sounds terrible. And I don't even want to know what that must look like when you're in surgery. And it was terrifying, but I I went to a fantastic doctor. He treats a lot of the big names out there. And yeah, putting my faith in him. We're going to get back on the horse, excuse the pun, as soon as possible.
Yeah, so do you have to do any exercises maybe to, enhance the journey of recovery, or do you just need to not sing?
So I had to take a vow of silence last year after my op. I wasn't allowed to talk for like
Jeez.
2 weeks, which was very interesting and very
Wow.
frustrating. And I'm in speech therapy now, and I've got exercises that I've got to do twice a day, every day. And yeah, and just generally watch out with what I do with my voice. Something very interesting that I learned that I didn't realize is it's extremely bad for your voice to actually talk on online calls or even to send voice notes, or and maybe for yourself, no, to just be aware of the volume that you use, because when we're talking on a call we actually don't realize that we possibly talk at the top of our voices. So yeah, just watch that. Yeah, that's why sometimes I sit really close to the computer and I'm just talking very soft.
Thank you for that pro tip. It really helps. Where can people get in touch with you online if they want to sort of work with you or want to follow you on social media?
You can get hold of me on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram. My handle is Katia De Vallier and also on Facebook. And I'd love to connect with people and yeah, make new music and learn new things.
Hey, that is epic. And to you, the audience, thank you for tuning into this amazing episode with Katia. There's more coming through this year. Do remember to check out all our stuff on our website, www.sledgeunderground.com. Check out sledgeunderground.store as well. That's where all our merch is. And yeah, we're going to catch you next time on Sledge Underground. For now, it's bye.